Sefer Bamidbar concludes with the final chapter of the story of the Bnei Tzlafchad. The Torah tells us about the 5 daughters of Tzlafchad who demonstrated their great love of Eretz Yisrael when they made the request that since their father had left no sons, they should be the ones to inherit their father's portion of Eretz Yisrael. And Hashem said that their request should be granted. And in fact, the laws of inheritance were taught in their merit. And Sefer Bamidbar concludes by telling us that these righteous women ultimately married members of their own tribe of Menashe, just as Hashem had commanded Moshe that they should do. I'd like to focus on when the Torah first introduces us to this man, Tzlafchad ben Chefer. In Parak Chavav, Pasuk Lamed Gimel, in Parshas Pinchas, it says, Utzlafchad ben Chefer lo'hay le'banim ki'im banais. And Tzlafchad, the son of Chefer, had no sons, only daughters. It seems somewhat unusual that the Torah describes this man first by what he was lacking and then by what he had. Tzlafchad ben Chefer, loy hayalei banim ki banas. It would seem more appropriate to say Tzlafchad ben Chefer, hayalei chamesh banos ein lei banim. Why is Tzlafchad described as a man who had no sons? Tzlafchad ben Chefer loy hayalei banim. It would seem from this description of Tzlafchad, writes Victor Miller, that the Torah is describing a man who had always hoped for a son. He had hoped for a son, and he was disappointed time and time again when no son was born to him. That's why it's describing him as a man who had no son, because it was his lifelong ambition that he should father a child. But we understand that had Tzlafchad fathered a son, we never would have even heard of him. So the lack of a son turned out to be a magnificent gift that he earned the eternal glory of having his name mentioned in the Torah no less than 8 times. And forever after he passed from this world, Tzlafchad is eternally thankful that he never got what he always wanted. I think this story of Tzlafchad really provides a very clear illustration for us that adversity and vicissitudes of life that for us sometimes seem frustrating can actually turn out to be our greatest benefit. You know, often in this life, we're not aware of why or how things that occur could be beneficial, but we could take solace in the knowledge that ultimately everything that Hashem does to us is ultimately for a beneficial purpose. May it be Hashem's will that this Chodesh Menachem Av be the month that is transformed from one of tragedy and mourning to one of happiness and celebration for all of Klal Yisrael. Thank you.